Hey everybody, and thanks for clicking on this video and checking out my channel. So the other day I picked up the Avengers Endgame Blu-ray. And one of the things I like to do when I get a new Blu-ray is check out the commentary on the movie. I love getting the filmmaker's perspective, get inside their thoughts, hear what they were thinking about when they were making the movie, the decisions that they were making, the decisions that they decided not to make, just to get the insider scoop on the movie. And so the first thing I did when I got the Avengers Endgame Blu-ray is watch the commentary by the Russo brothers themselves, the directors of the film. And some of the reveals in the commentary I found very intriguing and very interesting. So I thought I'd try a new segment called Discoveries of the Commentary. I don't know, it might be a working title. I just thought it'd be fun to watch a commentary on a movie and then give my thoughts and opinions on what I found most interesting that was revealed during that commentary. So, the first one we're going to look at is Avengers Endgame. And these are going to be 10 things that stuck out to me within the Avengers Endgame commentary, revealed by the Russo brothers themselves. So coming in at number 10, we have the fact revealed that Natalie Portman's scene in Avengers Endgame during the flashback to the Dark World was in fact a deleted scene with Rocket Raccoon superimposed into it.
An outtake from the Dark World, Jane getting out of bed, and we added Rocket to the shot and changed the context of the original intention of the shot.
Now this is kind of low on the list because this isn't that big of a reveal, but this was kind of a debate that I've had with friends in the past and something that I've thought about. Did Natalie Portman really come back to the franchise just to lay in a bed, wake up, and then get followed by a raccoon that wasn't even there? It felt really odd to me that she'd be gone for so long, only to come back to do that one scene. So the fact that it's a deleted scene makes a lot more sense to me, and it's kind of nice to get that confirmation that that is indeed what it is. Although if you saw the Phase 4 announcement at Comic-Con, Natalie Portman is back, so I guess it wasn't that far of a stretch to assume that she would come back to do that one scene. At number 9, it was revealed at the beginning of the film where Hawkeye's family disappeared that that scene was actually supposed to be in Infinity War. But they decided to put it at the beginning of Endgame because they felt that they needed to reintroduce the audience to the circumstances.
But it also works so well to restate the finality of what happened in Infinity War when you put it at the beginning of Endgames.
I think so. I mean, it brings you back emotionally very quickly. There's a year between these films.
Now this one I find kind of interesting because when Infinity War was being shot and while the anticipation was building up for it, it was said that Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner, was going to be in Infinity War. So when people went to go see Infinity War, myself included, and went, hey, where's Hawkeye? I guess he was supposed to be in that scene. But they decided to take that scene and put it at the beginning of Endgame, which, in my opinion, was a fantastic decision and totally worked for the benefit. At number 8, we have the alternative scene at Vormir. One of the more suspenseful and edge-of-your-seat kind of scenes in Endgame is when Black Widow and Hawkeye are at Vormir and they're told by Red Skull that one of them needs to sacrifice the thing that they love most in order to get the Soul Stone. A soul for a soul. So they both go at it trying to prevent one another from killing themselves so that they can do it for them. It was revealed in the commentary that this scene actually played out a little differently in earlier drafts. Apparently, Thanos sent an army down there and actually ran them off the cliff. But they felt like that wasn't as impactful as it would have been with the two just sacrificing themselves.
It's much better than what we had. It was a little more complicated. It was Thanos and sending a small army to pretend to try to stop them. It was sort of awkward, sort of kabuki theater.
But while it lit a fire under them to do the act, it also took a little bit of the agency away. And
we lost the characters.
Yeah, that's right.
And I gotta say that I agree. If they were just chased off a cliff, I don't feel like that would have been as impactful as them deciding to do it themselves. So I kind of like that they didn't go with the earlier draft decision. At number 7, we have Cap's decapitated head. Now, this one would be higher on the list if I didn't already hear about it, but I did hear some rumors and speculation online about this one. But it's kind of interesting to hear the Russo brothers themselves confirm that this was indeed an actual thing they were debating. It goes like this. In the end battle of Endgame, there was an idea to have Thanos appear through a portal with 2012's Captain America's decapitated head and throw it at the feet of the Avengers. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that could have been a really interesting scene to see play out. That could have really upped the stakes because it would have felt like, whoa, Thanos, he's out for blood this time. In Infinity War, he wasn't really trying to kill them, he was just trying to prevent them from stopping him from doing what he wanted to do, from succeeding his goal of destroying half the universe. That would have shown that he was different this time. He was out for blood. He was going to kill whoever he needed to. But I do think, even though this movie gets a little dire, it does have that kind of lighthearted tone to it as well, with some really good humor in it.
It's baby. It's Scott. as a baby. He'll grow.
And I feel like seeing 2012's Captain America's decapitated head get thrown to the feet of the Avengers might have just been a little bit too dark. As the Russo brothers say in the commentary,
Essentially, Thanos' head on the floor, it was a shocking reverse. But perhaps a bridge too far.
and I think they made the right decision on that. At number 6, it was revealed that the Hulk merger of Banner and Hulk was going to be in Infinity War. In the commentary, the Russo brothers said that they originally had Hulk and Banner work their issues out in Infinity War, bust out of the Hulkbuster, and start helping out in Wakanda.
Fighting in Wakanda, the whole arc of the story was, Banner and Hulk were not getting along. Hulk wouldn't come out to help him, and at his hour of greatest need, they make some sort of compromise, and smart Hulk rips out of the armor and beats the crap out of Cull Obsidian and destroys him.
But they felt like that was too much to put into that one scene, and it would have taken away from the tone if they had had the Hulk run into Natasha and have the whole "the sun's getting real low" speech from her play out, only to have Professor Hulk speak English, perfect English, for the first time in the movie. It didn't feel like it worked in Infinity War, so they saved it for Endgame. And while I think that would have prepared people more for the Hulk that we got in Endgame, because I do have friends that are unhappy with the little amount of Hulk rage that we got in Endgame, I'm personally fine with it. I like Professor Hulk.
Hulk out.
But that would have prepared them a little bit more for what to expect in Endgame. But I also agree with the Russo brothers that probably wouldn't work very well in Infinity War. And I like how it's done in Endgame. At number 5, we have the Nebula misdirect. So there's a scene in Avengers Endgame where Nebula is on Morag with Rhodey, getting the Power Stone. Rhodey is able to make it back to the future, but Nebula gets caught by Thanos before she's able to escape. And this leads to a beatdown between Nebula 2023 and Nebula 2014, where Nebula 2014 is able to disguise herself as Nebula 2023 and trick the Avengers in order to get Thanos into the future of 2023. Now, apparently the scene where Nebula 2014 takes the pieces off of Nebula 2023, they originally thought they could cut out to have it be more of a big reveal to the audience that the Nebula from 2014 is actually playing as 2023 and we didn't even know it. But they felt like without that scene, it didn't feel clean enough. It felt a little confusing and the audience would be a little bit more confused than they needed to be for a movie this size. And while I think it would have been really cool to be with the Avengers and feel as duped as they were when Thanos gets through because Nebula switched places, that would have been an interesting thing to feel in the movie. And the reasoning for how it worked totally makes sense to me. Because when Nebula 2023 reaches for the Power Stone and burns her hand in the process off, revealing the mechanical arm, Nebula from 2014 has a fully blue arm. So when she goes to bring Thanos through the time machine, the audience members that were paying really close attention would notice that Nebula's arm was blue again.
Alright, so if you're paying attention, that hand should be destroyed. That would be your first clue.
And that could have been a really interesting detail to go back and notice. But I can also understand why they put that scene back in. At number 4, we have the unexpected controversial moment. So one of the big kind of memes and lines that came out of Infinity War, Ant-Man looks at Captain America's butt in 2012 when the Avengers travel back to New York to get Loki's scepter, which after Captain America 2023 fights Captain America 2012 and beats him, he makes the same remark, leading to a really big laugh in my theater, a line that I think is really funny, and also a line that's kind of become an internet meme and a quotable line to many people who are fans of the MCU. It's very interesting. In the commentary they revealed that was actually a pretty controversial line between the writers to put into the movie.
Probably the most controversial joke in the whole movie, America's ass. Controversial for all of us. That was hotly debated.
Was it?
Yes.
Which I find kind of interesting because of all the lines that I feel would be controversial, I never would have expected that line to be the one. At number 3, we have, even the filmmakers don't know if Cap met Red Skull or not. So during the commentary, the Russo brothers are talking about how they have to return all the stones. And one of the producers, I think it was a producer, brought up in the commentary, did Captain America indeed run into Red Skull when returning the Soul Stone? And to my surprise, even the filmmakers in the commentary didn't really seem to know that answer.
Speaking of Red Skull, have you guys thought about whether or not Cap runs into Red Skull when he's returning the Soul Stone?
Many times.
Yes, you would have to.
Well, I guess if Red Skull has been released from his
I don't think
bonds,
he's not released.
Well, what's he doing there?
At the exact moment.
He is the Guardian.
But there's no Soul Stone there.
But they make him back?
But he goes back the moment before. Yeah.
If not even the people who made the movie know, then who does? At number 2, we have Iron Man's death. Now this one kind of goes as a threefold, because there's 3 things I found interesting about this scene during this commentary. The first is that this was the last scene that they shot for Endgame. Iron Man's snapping that causes his death was the last scene that they shot for Endgame, apparently in January.
I Am Iron Man. It's the very last shot that we did in January of 19.
And I find that really cool and interesting because that's really poetic to the fact that Iron Man was the first movie they made in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for the Infinity Saga, and the last scene that they shot for the Infinity Saga was the scene that caused Iron Man's death. That's just really poetic to me, and I like that. The second thing that I found interesting about this scene was that the line,
Iron Man.
that was actually an afterthought, and they had to reshoot that.
That was a late addition and the last shot of the entire film in reshoots.
That's interesting to me because I thought that that was such a perfect way to end the character. That was such the perfect last line and poetic line for that character to have, since that was the last thing he said in the first Iron Man movie, to have the last thing that character says ever. I thought it was really poetic, and I thought that would have been something that they thought up early on in the process. Like, that's what they wanted to work towards, or that's something that they've always had in mind. So the fact that that was kind of an afterthought and they didn't think about that till later on and it had to be a reshoot is not a bad thing. I just find it really interesting that that wasn't earlier on in the process. And the third thing that's also pretty poetic about this scene, apparently they shot this scene on the soundstage that Robert Downey Jr. tested the character on all the way back in like 2007.
On a soundstage at Raleigh Studios, adjacent to the soundstage where Robert Downey originally tested.
That's right, it was Raleigh Studios where he tested.
For Iron Man.
That's right.
12 years before.
Talk about coming full circle. I think that's really awesome. And the number one reveal that I got from the Endgame commentary is Peggy's door in the final scene of the movie is open. Now, I love this final scene. The fact that Captain America's story ends with him finally getting his dance with Peggy Carter, that he was robbed from because of his sacrifice all the way back in Captain America: The First Avenger in 2011, is already so beautiful to me. But one of the things that they revealed in the commentary that I totally missed upon all my viewings of the movie is that Peggy's door is still open, indicating that Captain America had just gotten to her door.
It's kind of something that's hard to notice. Like, the door is open here.
This is very shortly
This
after
is
their
the moment
reunion.
I imagine that. And about 10 minutes ago, he knocked on the door. She, dropped whatever she was holding.
And it led to this.
The reason I have this at number 1 is because I never noticed that that door was open. And the thought of Peggy Carter opening that door to see Steve Rogers there at her doorstep, and then immediately they just go and have their dance, it just adds so much more weight and makes that scene so much more beautiful to me. And I already loved that scene, so just having that little detail makes me love this scene even more. And guys, those are the 10 things that I found most interesting and intriguing to me within the Avengers Endgame commentary. As far as the commentary themselves go, it's a lot of talk of Russo brothers talking about their thought process through the movie, why they came up with certain scenes, why they shot them that way, what their thought process about the scenes were, and commenting on the phenomenal job that the actors are doing and where those kind of performances came from, which is all very interesting stuff. But this is the stuff that I found the most intriguing behind the scenes about the movie and the process of making the movie to what we eventually ended up getting. Have you listened to the Avengers Endgame commentary? What did you find the most interesting or intriguing? Comment down below, let me know. I want to know all your thoughts and opinions about the Avengers commentary. And with that, guys, that'll be the first installment of this potential new series, Commentary Discoveries. Is that what I called it? Commentary Discoveries. If you like the series, let me know if you'd like to see more. This was a lot of fun for me. I really enjoyed doing this, and I want to hear your top 10 most interesting and intriguing discoveries from the Avengers Endgame commentary down in the comment section below. As always, guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video and checking out my channel. Once again, my name's Zachary Milne. Thank you for talking movies with me, and I hope you have yourself a great day.